Hey guys, I'm Chef T Max. Welcome back to the kitchen. Today I want to show you how to work with artichokes. So stay with me to learn how to cook an artichoke. And I'll see you back in a second. Click subscribe if you're not doing that already. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video and ring that bell and I'll send you new things I have coming up. So artichokes are on the table. We'll see you in a second. Okay guys, we're back with our beautiful artichokes. Now, I used to live out in California back in the early part of my career. I can tell you that's one thing I really appreciated was like fresh artichokes right from the field there. And during the kind of springtime, it's a perfect time you'll see artichokes coming out. Now, what I like to do is I like to leave the stem part on. And if you look and see in the center here, that white part of the stem is really like the heart. It's super edible, super nice. The outer part is not. It's not as, it's very strong, okay? So what I try to do is I'm going to work with the artichoke by cutting kind of the top off. The top leaves on this particular dish I'm not going to use. Now, some of the old school things are just like taking a artichoke and having kind of the leaves like this, and there is some meatiness on the leaf. You can't eat the leaf. It's too strong, too brittle. But you can kind of get some flavor from eating those artichokes like steamed like that. And that's a fun way to do it. But for this particular dish, we want all of it to be very edible. So I'm going to show you the easiest way for you at home. Now, in a restaurant, we call this turning an artichoke. So it's a kind of an art. We use a smaller knife usually, right? And we turn the artichoke like this, always just kind of clipping the outer leaves. But I'm going to show you at home what might be a little bit simpler for you to do is to lay it down like this, so you guys can control a little bit better. And you want to just trim the outer pieces of it. Now, you don't want to go deep into the artichoke because, there's not a lot of meat on it as it is. So you definitely don't want to cut more than you need to, right? What you're looking to do is to cut the harder outer leaf off of there. And you see how this part of that is white and kind of very light yellow? That we want to leave on. Then we're going to cut this down again like this. You see, like this? And then from there, you're going to slowly get the edible part of the artichoke. And then you cut the center, these thistles that are very sharp. If you touch them, they're very sharp, right? Now, what I try to do is not cut off too much now because you can trim it after you've cooked it, okay? So here you're just looking to cut the hardest parts off, and these parts that you know are not going to be edible, right? Now, when we get down to this part, the base and the stem, we want to just trim it gently, right? You can actually do it with your thumb almost. You can kind of pull these back, okay? And then what we're looking to do is kind of cut the stem down. So you're going to get to that center by turning it like this, right? And this leaves kind of that center core of the artichoke intact, and you're cutting off all the unedible outside of the artichoke. And I just, you can cut into this piece here. Now, if you don't, let's say you don't want that, you can just cut it here, okay? Now, if you do that, here's another thing you can do as well. Let me get all these out of the way so you can see better, right? It's kind of confusing with all the scraps. There's really not a lot you can do with these scraps. Boiling and making an artichoke stock doesn't work very well. There's probably, if some of you guys have any ideas for what you could do with that, shoot me a note on my comments, I'd love to hear it. But with this, I usually just trim this up like this, okay? And then this is just an extra piece of the artichoke that you can eat when you've cooked it, okay? You're just gonna cut out all those hard pieces. So you just get to that soft center piece, okay? Like this. Now, when you've done that, you always kind of want to have lemon around, and you wipe this with lemon. This way it doesn't immediately turn brown. You really should, if you're cleaning a lot of artichokes, probably wear gloves too, okay? Because it will brown your skin just from the kind of, I guess, the acid on these or the enzymes or I don't know what it is on you that's turning your skin brown, but it does. And it goes away obviously, but it's not very nice. So here you see we've got a turned artichoke now. Now here I want to take that I'm going to rub the whole thing with lemon, okay? Very generous, okay? And squeeze it on there if you want like this. This way it keeps it nice. And then you can put those in water if you wanted to as well. But I'm going to be working with this so fast because I only have 2 of them that I'm doing, right? It's not a big deal. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, I've got a pot of boiling water right here. You guys can see how hot that is. And I'm going to put those in there, okay? And I'm going to actually put the lemons right in the water too and let these cook. I'm going to bring them to a boil. Once that boils, I'm going to finish cleaning this one too. Once it comes to a boil, you're going to go ahead and simmer it for probably about 8 to 10 minutes. And I'll give you an exact time on that in a second, but I think it's going to be about 8 to 10 minutes. And then we're going to take these and see what they look like, and I'll show you how we're going to finish this dish. So stay with me. Hey guys, all right, we're back, and I've got my artichokes. I pulled them off. I poured them in this bowl here. And you can see the lemons in there, everything. I was actually cutting some onions. I put some onion scrap in it. You don't have to do that, but the broth itself is very flavorful. The broth that you get from artichokes is very flavorful. I make other dishes with it too. There's famous dishes called Barigoule, French Barigoule, which makes a broth from onions, carrots, celery, fennel, those kind of things with the actual artichoke itself. So when you're cooking it like that. So I would say strain this out. Use this broth to make like a nice vegetable dish. Saute up some, kale and vegetables, zucchini, whatever you want. Whatever vegetables you like, and use this broth as like a vegetable stock to make something wonderful at home. It'll have that artichoke flavor. Now you're going to see, I took the artichokes here, and what we have to do is this red part of the artichoke here. You see this? This I have to kind of get out because it can be very what's the word I'm looking for? Sharp? Yeah, like it has like little sharp points to it. Now, as it tapers off to the outside, those points become a little less sharp and they become edible, okay? So on the center parts, I pull them out, but the outer parts, I leave them. And then I'm gonna just take the artichoke and I bend it out like this, leaving those parts around, because when we make this crispy, the artichoke is that part will soften up anyway. So with this, I just want to dig out this center. Now I have my spoon here. You guys see how I'm digging this out? And when I dig this out, I want to be very careful that I'm only pulling out the hairy inner part of the artichoke here. I'm not pouring out the heart. That underneath is called the heart. And you can scrape it like this and you'll see those hairs come off. If you dig with your fork and it's cooked, you could dive right into the meat and try to almost like discard some of the meat. So we don't want to do that. So you see how this is right there? How beautiful this is? You can almost do it with your thumb. Watch me with my thumb here. You see how I pull that like that? And it just comes off, these chunks of hairy artichoke, right? That part's all not really edible, okay? You're not gonna have a fun time eating it, put it that way. So I'm gonna just scrape off the last bit like this, okay? And that's it. Now I'm gonna lay the artichoke flat. And I just press it flat with my hand. You see that? Okay, and it's ready to go. This is the little stalk that we had in there. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that lengthwise here. Okay, just like that. Now, I've got a hot pan. I'm gonna put some grapeseed oil. Beautiful, clean California grapeseed oil. All right, and then I'm gonna lay my artichokes in there and get them nice and crispy. Okay, and I'm gonna put all of this scrappy stuff around as well to fry in there. Not the hairy stuff over there, but the other stuff, okay? And then this, I pressed it flat, put that in there too. So with this, we're just gonna press this flat like this, okay? Now, I'm gonna take a little bit of butter, got my little stick of butter here. I'm gonna put a couple pieces of butter in there, okay? And that's perfect. Now, I'll take a little lemon. I'm just gonna cut the ends of the lemon so I don't get any seeds while I'm trying to do this, right? And I'm gonna put those on top. A little lemon juice, right? Fresh lemon. lemon and butter. I'll put a little bit more salt. Now, the water that we cooked them in was salty, so I don't want to put too much salt on top because they're pretty good, like right there. And that's it. Now, we're going to look at these in a second. Like I said, these are cooked, right? We've cooked these for about 15 to 20 minutes on a nice simmer. And at this point, what we want to do is just flip them. So I'll show you what that looks like. You see that? Beautiful, crispy artichoke, right? We'll flip these pieces over too. Those pieces frying in there, they're getting nice and crispy as well. More edible to eat. Tasty. Okay, so let me let these saute on the side for about 2 more minutes. Clean this up. I'm gonna show you how we plate this up. Okay guys, I cleaned this up a little bit. I'm gonna look at my artichokes on that side now. You see how that's getting a little char on that? That's what I want. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off now because they're done. Remember, artichokes are cooked. We don't have to cook them. What we're looking to do is put a little edge on them, right? And at this point, you take these, you stick them on your plate. These are all super edible. So this is a real treat because, you know, a lot of times you're eating artichokes. What do you have to worry about? You always have to worry about, you know, not having, not eating certain parts of it, not eating the right parts. So this, you've done all the work for your guests. So this is like a real special guest. This is not your in-laws, okay? You just steam artichokes and you give them, let them fight for it, you know? But for your really good friends, you do this. And then you go in to my recipe bank and you find tarragon aioli. And tarragon aioli, you take that and you drizzle that right over the top, like this. And that, my friends, is heaven. Let's taste what these, I'm gonna take one of these pieces right here. You can see how soft that is, right? And a little bit of aioli on there. It's such a magical dish, so great. If you like artichokes, try this at home. If you don't want to sear them in the pan after you've cooked them, press them flat. Carefully put them on your grill. Let them get a little char in the grill. Grill gives them beautiful flavor. You can even smoke them if you have a Traeger or a Traeger, whatever this little house smokers that everybody uses. Try that, put it on there, smoke them for a second after they've been cooked like this. Super amazing. Artichokes, a lot of times you guys see them in the store. You don't buy them, you buy the canned. It's not the same. You've never had, if you've only had canned artichokes, you've never really eaten a true artichoke. So go out, try this. Let me know your problems. Give me comments on there, questions, things that you want to know, problems that you had with it, and I'll help you and answer them. So I'll see you back in the kitchen soon. I'm Chef Dean Max.